Where the hell is everyone?
Hello there, overachiever.
Gah, good grief, dude, come on.
I believe you wanted to speak with me regarding some sort of deal.
Oh, I just said make a deal with the devil because, you know, using the gas passer is evil. I didn't actually want to make any deals or anything. Wait, you're not actually the real devil, are you? I mean, I guess you are playing Pyro and that does make sense.
You do have to stay on brand, you know. Keep up appearances and everything.
Oh yeah, that's fair.
Anyway, I'm here to offer you a deal.
Okay, what is the deal?
I can grant you the unholy powers of a demon so that you may dominate any lobby you join and gain all the Team Fortress 2 achievements you need at unholy speed.
Hey, okay, look, dude, I'm not interested in any aimbots or cheats or anything, bro. I'm doing this all legit.
Oh no, this is not cheating. It's more of a performance enhancer. It's more akin to a race car driver getting a new top-of-the-line engine in his car. It's not cheating, you're just getting the best performance out of yourself. Always being on your A game would help you now, wouldn't it?
When you put it that way, I mean, I guess it isn't cheating because, like, I mean, if I got a new computer, that wouldn't be cheating because it's just getting better equipment.
Get a load of this guy.
Hey, wait a minute. You're literally the devil. How am I supposed to trust you? There's no way. I mean, this could all be a giant trick, or this power you give me could all be bogus, and, I mean, look at your back. I mean, you've literally got a guillotine back there. I mean, what's going on with that?
Oh, this? You don't have to worry about that. It's only used for the rich and powerful. But if you don't trust me, you can just go ahead and read this contract I've devised for this deal.
Okay, then fine, I will. Now let me see here. Okay, yep, I see it here. All right. Yeah, so I get this mask. That's kind of cool. But then you get that.
Is this guy illiterate or something? I mean,
also, hey, wait a minute. This thing here says you get my soul. That can't be right.
Oh, I apologize about that. That's just a typo. Just ignore it.
Oh, okay. Well, if that's the case, then this all seems good to me. Okay, then, well, where do I sign, or is it just some sort of... It's just a verbal thing?
Yeah.
Okay, well, then that's fine. Well, yeah, in that case, hand over the mask. I'm excited. I'm ready to start casting out some demon magic.
All right, then. Here it is. Have fun. But you will be hearing from me soon with those dark deeds I need you to do.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, just get in contact when you need me, all right? Okay, but now...
I reject my humanity!
Now that I have succumbed to the ruinous powers and gained foul chaos abilities from the warp, we can actually start blazing through some achievements. It is the most holy of holidays, Halloween, and along with some new cosmetics, we have our haunted hunting grounds back in map rotation. Specifically, of course, we have... Along with these maps, we have a few special Halloween mechanics which many a malicious map incorporates. Firstly, and honestly most importantly, we have spells. Any map which has spells will give us lots of opportunities to get achievements, as many of the spells actively contribute towards achievement progress, if not just sets them up for us. I'll quickly go through each of the spells and give some examples on which achievements are helped by them.
I'm the Shadow Man. I sneak and I creep.
This spell only appears on... and is honestly the worst one. It's good for low mobility classes like Heavy to get in people's faces or surprise enemies, but aside from that, I mean, I guess you can get to the top of the titular without having to walk all the way. Any achievements which need you to get up close and ambush enemies work with this one, such as any backscatter achievements, spy backstabbing achievements, or any melee-based achievements in general like Clear Cutter. It could also be used to increase your survivability by running away, so it could also be useful in getting any number of those do this in one life achievements. Fireball and any other damage spells are interesting for achievements because they give mercenaries that lack any offensive capabilities the ability to do insane amounts of spike damage. Notably, it gives any melee-focused playstyles a kill this guy button to get themselves out of trouble. KGB Heavy no longer needs to slowly pull out his minigun to do range damage and can instead just hurl a fireball. Demo Knight, a subclass with literally no ranged options, is now given a long-ranged attack which does wonders for them. This spell doesn't actually give you any achievement progress or set up achievements on its own, but it is a great tool for getting rid of enemies which may be halting your progress to get achievements. I mean, you get to jump pretty high, that's kind of cool. I mean, it gives a lot of your classes some vertical movement, which is nice. I mean, it doesn't really help with any achievements. I mean, I guess you can use it to jump to the very top of... But aside from that, I don't know, it's alright. You can ambush people, I guess, by jumping on top of them, or get away from people, so it's just a mobility tool. Increasing your survivability is always great, especially if you're doing any achievements which need to be done in a single life, like Specialist or Sawbones. It's especially good for Iron Curtain, which requires you taking 1000 damage in a single life. Overall, if you have to do something in a single life, this spell helps. It also just keeps you alive in general whilst trying to go for weird achievements. This one's just like Fireball, but worse. It's still good for melee subclasses and still good damage for less offensive mercenaries like Medic or Spy, but I'd much rather get Fireball than this one. Again, this is just a damage spell, but this time it's slower and can't be used by any melee classes because you need to damage the pumpkin bombs to detonate them, which you can't really do if you're hitting it with your fists and blowing yourself up. Not really usable aside from just killing people. This spell probably has the most applications in terms of getting achievements. It can be used like Shadow Leap to help melee subclasses get close to enemies, but in this case, just sneaking up on them instead of teleporting to them. Used like Overheal to help you retreat and escape threats, and also can be used to set up heaps of specific circumstances for achievements. For example, you can sneak up on a heavy medic pair as scout with the backscatter to get the back-to-back achievement, or you can use it to sneak behind enemies and taunt kill them for the various taunt kill achievements that many classes have. You can even use it on Spy to give you a version of invisibility that actually allows you to backstab whilst under its effects. Stealth is just super great. It's versatile and has an application for nearly every single achievement in the game.
Damage numbers! Please! I beg you!
Again, these spells are just for offensive use. They are rare spells, however, so you can use them to actually get the Hell Spells achievement, as long as you cast them on...
Not supposed to be playing up here.
This spell is probably the greatest spell for achievement gathering, as it practically functions like all the other spells combined. It's like stealth because you can jump into the skybox and fall on people to surprise them, with the added benefit that you're also super small so they might just not even see you. It's also like any of the mobility spells like Shadow Leap and Blast Jump because you get infinite jumps and extra movement speed. And it's also like any of the offensive spells because you get a faster movement speed, reload speed, and attack speed whilst minified. This faster reload speed and attack speed helps with many of the achievements which require you to be very offensive. It's good for getting lots of kills for something like Dominator on Soldier or Fire Chief on Pyro, and it's actually especially good for getting Marksman because you're in the air and can shoot people. So that's very nice. You can also use all the extra jumps you have to get all the way to the top of... Alright, who the hell keeps doing that when I say...
You're wasting your time talking about this stuff. Talk about the achievements already.
Hey, look, okay, these mechanics give a lot of context to the achievements that are going to come up later, and many of the best ways to achieve them are actually by using these mechanics. But look, hey, okay, I'll go over them super quickly if you'll please stop doing that when I say... Oh, you didn't do it. Okay, well, yeah, I'll quickly go over them right now. Pumpkin bombs are, well, funnily enough, pumpkin-shaped bombs, which are often found around many of the Halloween maps. They explode upon being damaged and do anywhere between 75 and 150 damage, depending on how close you are to them. They are useful for taking out enemies who stray too close to them, but really aside from that, they're mainly just an obstacle that we have to avoid. You can also use the pumpkin bombs as a sort of pseudo rocket jump, as the explosion does have a substantial amount of knockback. As long as you have enough health to survive the initial explosion as well as the fall damage you take, it can actually be a really effective mobility tool. Next we have, Halloween pumpkins, which aren't at all confusing. Unlike the pumpkin bombs, these ones actually drop from enemies when they're killed and grant 3.2 seconds of critical hits when you pick them up. There are a few achievements related to critical hits, but mainly these pumpkins are just great for basically any offensive application. Some Halloween maps have boss fights, with many of those boss fights actually having achievements tied to them. One interesting thing about some boss fights is they put you in a truce, which prevents both teams from damaging each other. This can be both beneficial and not beneficial in a few different ways. Engineers can actually build during this truce and thus can use it as a good opportunity to get everything set up before a wave of enemies come after them. However, on the flip side, a demo man can use this time to walk right up to your sentry, which won't be able to attack them, set up a bunch of sticky bombs, wait for the truce to end, and blow everything you've made up. A sniper can use the truce to get himself into a good position without the hassle of getting shot or killed by a spy. But on the flip side, you could use this opportunity to walk right through his sightline without worry of getting shot, and just walk right up to him and kill him the second the truce ends. Your team could use this truce to reposition themselves and get themselves in a really advantageous position for when the truce ends, but your opponent can do the exact same thing. Or even worse so, if you've got a really well defended position, they could use that opportunity to flank around you uninhibited or get right up in your face without any chance of getting shot by your either defensive sentries or defensive sticky bombs. It's really an opportunity for both teams to take advantage of. However, for us, we're mainly just going to be fighting bosses during the truces. That's what's going to get us the achievement. And honestly, we're not going to be playing on these maps more than once because we're going to be spending a lot of time on... Oh, he didn't do it again. On Hell Tower. Speaking of things that are map specific, let's talk about what happens on Carnival of Carnage. This map has a magical event which can occasionally activate, which teleports all players in front of the strongman game and afflicts them with one of 3 curses. These curses are the following. Underwater. The air becomes water and people can swim around as if they were flying. This curse is very interesting mainly because of one specific application. You can use the Neon Annihilator to get free crits on these swimming players, as it does still count as being wet even though you're swimming in the air. This means it can be really easy to get the Clear Cutter achievement whilst in this underwater state, and thus will be very effective. Balloon heads. This one is extremely boring. You get a big head and when you jump you float like you've got a balloon attached to you. It's fun and quirky, but it doesn't really do anything in terms of getting achievements. No guns. This one's actually pretty good for any of the melee achievements, as it puts all of your opponents on the same playing field as you, and also puts them all together in the same area, making it much easier to gain some ground on them. This curse will be really good for Left for Heads or any of the various heavy melee achievements. Some of the other maps, mainly Ghost Fort, have similar map events. These are called Wheel of Fate events, which often just curse all players with some small benefit or downside. Those benefits or downsides are the following. Super Jump, which lets you jump really high with no fall damage. Small Heads, which doesn't really do anything but make Sniper's life hell. Super Speed, which is really nice for any melee class or things that lack mobility. Zero Gravity, you get to float around for extra mobility, which is kind of cool. It actually helps snipers too, because headshotting someone floating around is actually quite easy. Big Head, opposite of Small Head, really good for sniper. Dance Off. This one's bad if you want to survive for a very long time because you get teleported right in front of the enemy team, but there is some silly stuff you can do with this specific curse. As engineer, you can actually build a sentry right in the area where everyone teleports to, and it can shoot all of them. So whilst everyone's standing in the middle of the map dancing, you can actually get a massive kill streak and wipe out the entire enemy team without lifting a single finger. Ubercharge. This one doesn't really do anything because everyone's Ubered and so can't hurt each other, but it's nice to use it to reposition or get away from enemies you think are going to kill you. Critical hits. I mean, critical hits are good, but it's also bad because you'll get killed far more easily. Whammy. This one just either gives you the Girardi effect, the Mad Milk effect, or the Marked for Death effect. This is good for either Bushwhacker Sniper or Neon Annihilator Pyro. The last Halloween specific thing I need to go over is the Halloween contracts. These contracts require you playing on various different maps and doing various different things to earn Halloween packages which contain various Halloween restricted cosmetic items. This only matters to us because of the Saxton Hale achievement, which requires you crafting the Saxton Hale mask using all 9 of the various different paper bag masks, which you can only get from these packages, and thus we're going to be doing every single one. Most contracts require you gathering souls, which in this case it just actually kills, but you can also get souls by collecting soul gargoyles, which randomly appear on the map. These gargoyles grant 10 souls when collected and are often very useful for completing contracts very quickly. If Marasmus tells you one's appeared, I'd go hunt for it immediately. But yeah, that does it for all the Halloween mechanics. Now let's go on to all the Halloween achievements. Firstly, for the Halloween achievements, we have a bit of a hit list. These achievements require us defeating the Halloween bosses on their specific map, namely the Horseless Headless Horseman, Monoculus, and Marasmus. These boss fights are quite easy to do as most of them actually put you in a truce, meaning that you're not getting attacked by the enemy team whilst you're trying to kill these bosses. The only boss that doesn't do this is the Horseless Headless Horseman, which has both teams still able to attack each other whilst the boss fight is happening. But this doesn't really affect much, as usually most people on the server just go to attack the boss and refrain from attacking each other. These boss killing achievements also have some related achievements which tie directly into them. These 2 achievements you see on screen require killing Monoculus and Marasmus, traveling through a portal which appears on their body to a loot island, and then escaping. This achievement, however, requires you getting the killing blow on the Horseless Headless Horseman with a melee weapon. This one's quite tough. All the other achievements are quite easy comparatively. Killing these bosses aren't very hard, and surviving Loot Island isn't really hard either. But killing Triple H with a melee hit when his melee attack does 80% of your health, no matter what class you play, is a toughie. I would recommend playing something that can get in melee hits, but also get away from him as soon as possible. Demo Knight is obviously good in this regard because he can charge away as soon as he swings, but I would also recommend maybe Scout, as he can melee hit with his bat and just sprint away before getting gibbed. I would also recommend attacking whilst he's targeting someone else, as they won't try to hit you until their original target is dead. The next achievement to talk about is one that I did mention previously, Saxton Hale, which requires you crafting the Saxton Hale mask using one of each of the mercenaries' masks. This one is really hard because of RNG, as I mentioned previously, but apparently they used to be tradable, and there are some still available that have a tradable quality, so theoretically, if worse comes to worse, we could always track down tradable versions, purchase them, and then craft the item that way. However, this is just a backup plan. Hopefully we can get all the masks from doing the Halloween contracts, but it doesn't look like that's going to happen considering we only got a single mask during this Halloween event. But anyway, now on to some more general Halloween achievements. Candy Coroner needs you to collect pumpkins from dead players. Playing as a fast close range character like Demo Knight or Scout will be the best at this because they can get kills and just immediately pick them up from their bodies. A Taco Lantern will just require a keen eye for when enemies are near exploding pumpkins. Scared Stiff just requires you killing an enemy which has been scared by a ghost. Scared players are massively slowed down, cannot attack, and count as being stunned for achievement purposes. This means maps with ghosts can actually help you get progress towards Strike Zone and the Longest Days. Ghosts can be found on the following maps: Brimstone, Erebus, Viaduct, Gravestone, Ghost Fort, Harvest Event, Hellstone, Hell Tower, Moonshine Event, Precipice, Slasher, and Terror. Personally, I found Harvest Event to be the best for this achievement, as ghosts appear all over the map and in all of the highly populated areas. Costume Contest almost seems like it should just be a base achievement. The only thing Halloween-y about it is the pun in its name. This one just requires luck. Just keep an eye out for yourself running around and backstab them. Ghastly Gibbous Grab just requires us dominating someone using the Ghastly Gibbous cosmetic. Luckily for us, the Ghastly Gibbous is one of the few free hats you get in the game, and thus many new players equip it when they first start playing the game. This means we're very likely to come across players using this hat, and unfortunately, seeing as though most of them are new players, it'll probably be very, very easy to dominate them. Overall, this one should be quite easy. Masked Man. This achievement just requires collecting a soul gargoyle on Man Manor. Not really hard at all, just play the map as normal and listen for when the gargoyle spawns and go and collect it. Lastly, we have the map-specific achievements for both Carnival of Carnage and Hell Tower. For Carnival of Carnage, we have these achievements. These ones require you playing or winning all the various bumper cart minigames which you play at the end of each round. They're not too hard, but they are fairly annoying. Especially Up All Night to Get Ducky, which requires you collecting 250 ducks. This, plus the fact that the minigame choice is random, means you could get a bad run where you don't play the minigame with the ducks for ages and just play the other minigames over and over again. For some reason, the only other achievement for the Carnival of Carnage, which isn't a bumper car related one, is Arms Reduction. To most effectively get this achievement, I would recommend playing either Demo Knight or Spy, as you get access to the most powerful melee weapons available. Moving on to Hell Tower, we have Skeleton Coup. Skeletons are very easy to kill, and you'll probably just get this achievement naturally by playing the map over and over again, but if you really want to get this one done very quickly, I'd recommend playing Engineer. Engineer's level 3 sentry can't be targeted by skeletons and also mows them down with ease. This means you can get lots of skeleton kills without any worry of dying to them or your sentry gun dying to them. Mind games. Hell is a very dangerous and precarious place with lots of tiny little platforms you need to jump on to get across certain areas. This makes it quite easy for a pyro or any splash damage from an explosion to knock people off. To get this achievement effectively, I would recommend playing Pyro with the jetpack. This allows him to jump over to the enemy side of the map as they're spawning and knock them off as they're coming down from their spawn area. If you also happen to spawn with the invisibility spell, you can use that to sneak up on people and air blast them in when they're not seeing you. This one just requires you winning the non-hell portion of Hell Tower, specifically being on the point at the end of the map when it's captured. Heavy is really effective in getting this achievement as he can just plant himself on the payload and ride it all the way to the end. Hat Out of Hell just requires you to win the Hell portion of Hell Tower and get to the spellbook at the end of the map. This one's only difficult because winning the round and making it to the end can be rather difficult for some mercenaries, such as Heavy, Sniper, and Engineer. Hell's spells and Spelling Spree are very similar achievements. Both just require you casting some spells. Hell's spells just requires you using a rare spell, which can be obtained on Hell Tower by traveling through this portal when it opens up. And Spelling Spree just requires you killing 25 players with spells. See my earlier section on spells to get a good idea of how to utilize spells to get this achievement. Lastly, and definitely not least, we have this achievement. Hell Tower Competitive Spirit. Winning 142 rounds of Hell Tower is gonna be difficult. This specifically refers to the Hell portion of Hell Tower, not just capping the cart. This means that to get this achievement, you need to pretty much be winning lots of these team deathmatch battles in Hell. This achievement's gonna be pretty difficult to get. You have to play on a map that's restricted to only a single month, play a minimum of 142 rounds of said map, and win team deathmatch battles in Hell. This achievement's gonna take a very long time to do, and I'll be honest, I didn't get it done this Halloween. I know, I should have been playing it 24/7, and I was, but I couldn't get it done. Now I would go on to talk about Hell Tower itself, how to most effectively win on the map, tips and tricks for the team deathmatch in Hell, and what blasts and weapon combos are the most effective in Hell. But this video is actually really getting out of hand. I mean, it is already December and the TF2 Christmas event has already started like a week ago. So look, that'll be elaborated on further in another video. I would, however, like to thank everyone for your nice comments and your patience in me taking way too long to get this video out. I want you to know that I appreciate every single one of you. Speaking of appreciating you guys, I want to thank you guys so much for helping me reach the first 2 milestones for the replay achievements. I literally couldn't have done it without you. I mean, I literally need you to watch the videos, so thank you. Really quickly, I do actually want to go over some of your comments, as a lot of them have been very informative and actually super helpful, so I'd like to show them off here. I agree, Big Rock is actually, really good for Metal Massacre because there's only a single spawn door. You can really use Sniper's explosive headshots really effectively, or any explosive class in general. I actually think it's a pretty good contender for best map for this achievement. And I haven't used the Scottish Resistance with the parachute, but it does seem like it would have some nice synergy with bombing people from up high, so I might actually try it out sometime. It's right here, you're watching it right now, you little silly goose. I have actually seen Wheezy's video about Metal Massacre. It's actually super insightful and really useful. I would actually recommend anyone who wants to know more about Metal Massacre to go watch that video. It's really good. And I do agree with a lot of the points he has, and I actually kind of think it is probably the best way to do it, but I would love to get some hard evidence and proof that it is the best using statistics and math. I do love math. Hey, don't go bad-mouthing Great Blue like that. I am definitely not better than him. He is far better at this than I am, and his videos are insanely informative. I would, again, like my last couple of videos, recommend you watch Great Blue right now. Go and subscribe, like, subscribe, and then subscribe again. Hey, look, if anybody's playing this game too much, it's me. But you do have some really good points. If the giant heavies do have exactly 5k HP, then yeah, getting Wall of Pain using them will be actually really, really easy. I'll definitely try and do this next time I'm playing MVM, well, on a map that has a giant heavy. And Reanimator is really easy to get with the Vaccinator, so yeah, I'll probably try and go for it with that. Those MVM maps do actually have lots of small little support bots that you can blow up with a sniper, so I actually agree, yeah, Bone Shaker, Empire, and Broken Parts may actually be better than Caligula's Caper in that regard. This is actually a great idea. I might actually do that. Maybe not every day or week, but I may do it every YouTube upload. You might actually see it change very, very soon. Ah, you predicted correctly. Congratulations. It's always great seeing somebody else that's gone on the grind. I'm praying for you, man, and I hope these videos are helping. You do have a point. A lot of TF2 YouTubers do seem to get stuck playing just TF2, and that's definitely not what I want to do, but TF2 is an amazing game. It's probably my favorite game of all time, and I want to make lots of videos on it, so using that term is probably accurate until I decide to branch out. And that does it. Thank you all for watching, and you should be seeing the achievement log on screen right now, showing the progress we made during the making of this video. We actually ended up getting a very decent amount of achievements this episode, so that's really good news, but things are starting to get to the point where you actually have to actively attempt to try and get achievements as opposed to just randomly getting them whilst playing, so things are about to get more focused, I'd definitely say. One last thing before this video ends, I just want to say that the reason this video took a long time to come out was because I was really indecisive about what I wanted it to be. Originally, I was actually editing this video to be more of a jokey, montagey video like a Mr. Swipes video, but I ended up making a more informative video instead. However, I still have all of the edited footage I did for that montage saved on my computer, so as sort of a thank you for your patience, I'm actually going to be compiling all of it together and releasing a second Halloween video that's just going to be this funny frag montage. Hopefully you guys like it. Thank you for watching again, and I'll see you in that video.